Brought to you by...
Who doesn't love a good action movie? Gunfights, car chases, adrenaline-fueled mayhem, and usually some good-looking babes. Some of the best ones of all time come from director John Woo, whose flair for theatricality outshines many who have done far more with the genre. Today, I want to talk about a time when he paired up with a rising action star in his first American-made movie, one where he was likely not sure he would ever have an opportunity like this again. So he threw everything he could at the fucking wall to see what would kick. I mean, stick. Hello, friends, and welcome back to ETF. Meet Chance Boudreaux, an out-of-work sailor who is looking for work in New Orleans. Chance gets hired by a woman named Natasha Bender, who has arrived in town to find her father, former combat veteran Douglas Charles Bender, who we learn is now homeless. Soon they discover Natasha's father has been murdered, the latest victim of evil mercenary Emile Fouchon and his partner Pick Van Cleef, who cruelly hunt homeless veterans for the amusement of their clients. When Charles's friend Elijah Roper is Fouchon and Van Cleef's latest victim, Chance learns he is next on the hit list. Chased through the streets of New Orleans, Chance uses every skill he has to protect Natasha and take on the mercenaries. The hunters become the hunted, and they will find that Chance is a hard target to kill. We open in this POV-style sequence of a man being chased through an empty town at night by men on black motorcycles, shooting high-velocity arrows at him. In true Woo fashion, we are presented with a ton of slow motion woven throughout this one, to intensify impacts of various moments. Following this intro, we are introduced to our lead female protagonist, who I'd love to henceforth refer to as Eyebrows. And through her, we are introduced to Chance, our action hero of the story, who I would like to call Mullet. I've got nicknames for many of these characters in this film, based upon their physical traits, of course, but Brimley will always be referred to as Diabetes.
Diabetes, 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 diabetes.
Thank you, Wilford.
But before I go too far into this, I want to talk about the cast as a whole. We have Yancey Butler playing our lead female protagonist, and a rising star in the action genre at the time, Jean-Claude Van Damme, as our stoic leading hero. However, he wasn't always who Woo had in mind for the part. Originally, Woo wanted to cast Kurt Russell as Chance. However, the studios decided that they wanted to be in the Van Damme business. Personally, I think this one would stand out far better if Russell had gotten the part, but I sadly don't write the checks. Woo pits Van Damme against the duo of Arnold Vaslow as Pick Van Cleef, clearly an homage to the legendary Lee Van Cleef, and Lance Hendrickson as Emile Fouchon. I cannot express enough how well these two work together, delivering an incredible pairing of performances that make for such a fun experience. I found myself so much more interested in these characters than our protagonists. One fun thing I noticed this time around was a small cameo performance by Ted Raimi, which made sense since I noticed that Sam Raimi is listed as a producer on the film. After a little digging, it was clear that he was hired as a backup. Apparently, since John Woo couldn't speak English very well at the time, the studios had no confidence in his ability to direct the film, so Raimi was hired to help him along, and as someone who could step in to direct if Woo had to be fired. The film is presented in John Woo's patented, highly stylized visuals. He uses these quick cuts, punching in on character reveals and actions, to make his films more flashy and exciting. He intensifies small moments of action with slow motion, to sell characters' intent or the impact of a hit. Shit in John Woo films just fucking explodes for no goddamn reason, or are at the very least blown way out of proportion. And it's fucking awesome. This film always feels like the one that John Woo overindulged in. He goes so far over the top with slow motion, birds, explosions, and stylized action that it dials everything up to 11. Every character throughout the film is highly stylized, each having unique traits specific to them. Mullet has his hair and black trench coat, Hendrickson has his single-shot sniper shotgun thing. Van Cleef is a psychotic killer with an accent and popped collar. Lance Hendrickson chews up every scene he's in, bringing his dark, ominous charm to every take, and presents this imposing stature, even though he isn't really a very tall guy in reality. Jean-Claude is as wooden as he always is for most of the film. Diabetes sports a terrible French accent the whole time, but is apparently a crack shot with an arrow. There are things in this film that make absolutely no sense, such as why the fuck does this woman put her depressing birthday cake in her desk drawer with the candle still lit? And why does Mullet move aside his coat as if he's unsheathing his leg like a fucking sword? The answer? Why not? This is fucking action schlock. John Woo's distinctive style permeates Hard Target, infusing the film with a level of sophistication and creativity rarely seen in Hollywood action movies at the time. Woo's signature use of slow motion adds a dramatic flair to the action sequences. The technique heightens the tension and emphasizes the balletic choreography of the fights. The final showdown, in particular, showcases Woo's mastery of this technique, blending slow motion gunfights with explosive acrobatics. Doves, of course, are a recurring motif in Woo's films, symbolizing peace amidst chaos. In Hard Target, the use of doves during the climactic battle, in an abandoned warehouse no less, adds a surreal, almost poetic quality to the violence. The action scenes are meticulously choreographed, blending martial arts with gunplay. Van Damme's martial arts prowess is on full display, and Woo capitalizes on his physicality by incorporating intricate fight sequences that are both brutal and visually stunning. Woo employs dynamic camera work to keep the audience engaged. Sweeping crane shots, rapid zooms, and fluid tracking shots create a sense of urgency and motion, making the viewer feel like they are part of the action. Hard Target faced several challenges during production, primarily due to cultural differences between John Woo and the Hollywood studio system. Woo's preference for extensive takes and improvisation clashed with the studio's more structured approach. Additionally, the film's violence had to be toned down to secure an R rating, leading to numerous edits and reshoots. Despite these obstacles, Woo's vision shines through, thanks in part to his collaboration with producers James Jacks and cinematographer Russell Carpenter. The film's New Orleans setting provides a vibrant and atmospheric backdrop, enhancing the gritty, noirish feel of the story. John Woo's original cut of the film ran nearly 2 hours, and focused way more on Fouchon. However, apparently, Jean-Claude Van Damme and his editor locked themselves in an editing room for 2 days and re-edited the film for the producers. Van Damme stated that moviegoers were paying to see a Van Damme movie, not a Lance Hendrickson movie. And to him, I say fuck you, dude. I'd much rather sit through a Lance Hendrickson-led film than a JCVD pick. Hard Target stands as a testament to John Woo's ability to transcend cultural boundaries and leave an indelible mark on Hollywood action cinema. The film's blend of stylized violence, memorable characters, and Woo's unique directorial touches make it a standout entry into the genre. While not without its flaws, Hard Target remains a thrilling and visually captivating experience, showcasing the potential for artistic innovation within mainstream action filmmaking. Well, friends, that's going to be all for now. If you're interested in this film, I urge you to check it out for yourself and formulate your own thoughts and opinions about it. I hope you come share those thoughts in the comments. Let me know if there are any movies that you would like to see discussed on this channel. I always love to hear from you guys, and I do my best to try and respond to everyone. As always, I have put a link down in the description to a physical copy of the film, if one exists, so that you can add it to your collection. Using that link helps out the channel, and that is always appreciated. Furthermore, if you liked the video, I urge you to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already. I know many of you watching aren't yet subscribed, so help support the channel. Subscribe. If you'd like to go the extra mile and support the channel even more, we do have a Patreon. And if you sign up for our Rated R tier level, you can get yourself access to the ETF Digital Archive. We get a lot of compliments about the VHS collection that you guys see in the background of almost all of our videos. Well, we have been hard at work slowly digitizing that collection and creating a place where we can share it with all of you. Thanks to the help of the Plex platform, one of this channel's sponsors, we can now do just that. This is our way of doing our part to help preserve that gritty, nostalgic VHS look and feeling before it's gone forever. So as a special thank you for becoming a Rated R tier member, you will be added to our ETF Archive Plex server, so that you can stream our VHS collection from anywhere at any time. It's basically like having a streaming service for VHS, which I think is pretty cool. We also have a Mercari store, where you can go and get yourself a little piece of the ETF archive. While collecting VHS, Blu-rays, and DVDs over many years, we wind up with lots of duplicates, and we unfortunately can't store them all. So on our Mercari shop, we have those for sale. Purchasing those not only expands your collection, but makes room for us to expand ours. All the links for everything are down in the description. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.